Joining us is San Fernando Mayor, His Worship, Mr. Robert Parris. Let me start off by wishing you a happy new year and all the best to you and your family, Mr. Mayor.
I sincerely thank you for the salutations, and I wish you and your family the same.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, the vendors in San Fernando are opposing to the move from High Street San Fernando. Of course, they were out today with their placards and they were on the side of the road. They describe the stalls that have been constructed for them at Mokarapo Street as horse stables. The vendors also complained that they would get no sales at that location, and they further complained the area was unsanitary and unsafe. What say you?
So, good night, Trinidad and Tobago. The first thing that I will say is this, right? The vendors are talking about an unsanitary, unsafe environment. However, I think that the conditions that they operate on High Street in a drain, occupying the street, blocking the road, is a bit more hazardous than what it is that we have created on Mokarapo Street. First things first, I would like to say that I am not against the vendors in San Fernando. We are just creating a more suitable, a more accommodating, a more attractive area for them to vend. We do not legally have any jurisdiction on the High Street Shopping District to apply vending. As Trinidad and Tobago would know, vending is illegal. Every single mayor, and I'm going as far back as Rakib Hussain, when my father was a councillor in the 80s, has stopped vending on High Street. Everyone. I spoke to Mayor Jared Ferreira, who congratulated me. I talked to Mayor Ferguson, who congratulated me. Every mayor has had to grapple with this issue. So simply, the last mayor was quite generous, even though early into his tenure he said that vending was illegal and that he was going to stop vending. And I mean, you could just YouTube it. There's videos going around viral with him saying that. And then after he had a change of heart, he had an agreement or a personal arrangement with the vendors, because the corporation cannot take money from the vendors, right, for them to ply their trade in front of persons' stores. As a matter of fact, when I became the mayor, I was inundated with legal letters from the store owners on High Street speaking about this issue in particular. And I was advised by the corporate executive officer to go and try to finesse and speak to the business people, because we cannot win that lawsuit. The only place that the mayor of San Fernando and the city council have jurisdiction to start or to encourage any type of vending are institutions that we own. Mokarapo Street Market is one of our institutions. Harris Promenade is one of our institutions. And therefore, within the 5 months that I've been the mayor, I had a meeting with the vendors, and I told the vendors, this is what is before us. High Street is no longer an option. I will go to the business people. We're going to go straight through Christmas, right? Because I do not want to stop the sales for Christmas, but you all have to come up with an alternative. I don't think they took me seriously.
Yeah.
In November, we met, and I met all of the vendors, and I told them, and I reiterated the same thing. They gave me a suggestion, and I said, well, no, that's something to start with. But in 2 weeks, come to me, and I will go to the business people with whatever you all suggested. They never came. January 15th came upon us, because we met with them the week before. We met with them, I think it might have been the 3rd of January, right? And we told them that we were going to stop vending on High Street on the 15th of January. That was it. We gave you all enough time, right? But we're not going to be draconian. We're going to put things in place, because we told them that we were creating designated vending areas throughout the city.
So, Mr. Mayor, you did speak to the stakeholders. You told them exactly what the plan was. Everything was laid out. But why? It seems, and I want to throw this out, yeah, and I know this is not your first rodeo. I mean, you're quite in tune to understand where there's political mischief, political undermining, and political sabotage. And I think what makes it bad sometimes it's maybe your own dog that may be out there to undermine you, and that might hurt. Perhaps someone who is suffering from a tobacco of office. Having said that, how do you intend to deal with this when the vendors are making it quite clear, crystal clear, they have no intentions to move to the Mokarapo Street vending zone?
Now there are some right-thinking persons and there's some wrong-thinking persons, and they may be encouraged externally by people who should know better. However, my approach in life has always been try, and eventually people understand the sense. I'm an artist, Mikee K. I was born with the gift of sight. Things that people don't see. Where people see ugly, I see beauty. What we created down on Mokarapo Street will coincide with the refurbishment of Mokarapo Street Market, which is supposed to start in the next couple of months. Mokarapo Street will be paved from the top, go straight down. There are certain security measures that I discussed with top security personnel today that we're putting in place for that area. The market is washed every single day. The vendors no longer have to stand up in the rain, or when it is that it rains, go and shelter. And they will be accommodated in terms of toilet facilities as well in the Mokarapo Street Market. The exercise to refurbish the market it will be undertaken by the Rural Development Company, and it is quite extensive. It's similar to what was done in Chaguanas, similar to what was done in Arima. We're bringing up the standard of every entrepreneur in San Fernando. I look at the vendors not as vendors. I told them the other day, stop looking at yourself as a vendor. Look at yourself as an entrepreneur, someone who is giving back to the sub-economy of San Fernando. And I'm creating spaces for people, creating footprints in the sand, not for me, for my children and my children's children. We cannot, the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a difference.
I agree.
San Fernando's business community has been dying. I drove on Mokarapo Street maybe a week ago, and I saw all of these businesses closed down. And then my father and I, he was a counselor before me, as I said, in the 80s. We walked through the market without any security or anything like that, and the vendors realized it was me. And we had a good conversation. And you know what Daddy said? He said, Robert, how did you let the market get like this? The only committee that I have not chaired in 13, going on 14 years that I have been a counselor in the corporation is the Institutions Committee. And I said, Dad, I think that if I, for 13 years, was a part of the failure of this market, now this will be my legacy to fix. I've been in contact with the city engineer constantly. We're going to open back the car park that is on top of the Mokarapo Street Market. There's an area on Coffee Street that there was an entrance, a back entrance, and a car park on top that was closed off. I asked him, why was that closed off? He said, well, security reasons in the past. But what do I want to do? I said, I want the area cleared. I want it paved. I want us to start back to accommodate parking there. We also dealt with some of the no parking signs that were on Keith Street for persons who are plying their trade in the market and their customers.
Right.
So it is an overall comprehensive plan. We even had consultants talk to us about perhaps moving certain taxi stands, moving the traffic down there, and perhaps on the weekends creating a pedestrian mall on Mokarapo Street.
No, I know there's still some logistics that you have to work out. Now, the issue of crime, because I did speak to the head of the Southern Chamber before Christmas, and
yes.
They were expecting hopefully something would have changed. This is post-COVID, and many people are moving about, but the issue of crime has definitely put an effect on the economy. How are you dealing with that? How are you dealing with that in San Fernando?
Well, I will say today I met with the ACP South and Ms. Henry, and I met with our new San Fernando Municipal Superintendent, Superintendent Wren. We met at the headquarters city police, and we had very fruitful conversations. As a matter of fact, Trinidad and Tobago, San Fernando has been having conversations with the police since November. There were joint army and police patrol in the city since November. And right now, the police are tightening up on their security apparatus and their mechanisms. I have meetings, I think on Friday at 10 a.m. With the police. And the week after, we'll be walking the streets of San Fernando once again, jointly, to show that we are in this together. And I appreciate the approach by the ACP South. She has been very, very helpful. And there's visibility in terms of the police, especially on the High Street area, especially on the promenade with the army and the police. And this has been happening since November. We went straight into the Christmas season, and we were afforded the same amenities as we did for City Month. So we're going into Carnival, and we have those things in place. It's just for them to solidify and have their security apparatus.
Please. And let me ask you, Mr. Mayor, as far as domestic tourism, I believe that you are expected to have more than 400 visitors coming through quite shortly in South?
That's correct. So we're planning for the cruise ships. The cruise ships will be coming into Port of Spain, and we have arranged with the water taxi for them to make San Fernando part of their stop. So over 400 persons would be coming into San Fernando. We anticipate that would be at the end of the month. So, more or less, I mean, you can't let a visitor into your home and your home dirty. So we've been doing a bit of cleaning up, right? And trying to enhance and to show people the possibilities of what San Fernando could be. San Fernandians are very proud in Mikee K. We are very proud people. And the thing is, the rightful thinking San Fernandians want law and order. Yeah. I, fortunately, was not brought up in a household where I accept mediocrity. In speaking to one of the vendors, she told me, oh God, Mia, oh God, you could give me a blight, it's Trinidad, it's Trinidad. And I said to her, unfortunately, that's not the way I see it. That within itself is a crime, because you're asking me, someone who swore on a Bible, to uphold the law of the land, to more or less turn a blind eye to a crime that you're committing because it's Trinidad. Yeah. Well, I don't accept that.
Mr. Mayor, people are going to weigh in and say that, the small man is being pushed to the side. The small man is not getting the opportunity. But again, there's more to it than what we're talking about, and I think you know where I'm coming from. And when you think there are those who may be on board with you to make something happen when it comes to change, they're just simply sabotaging and undermining any kind of progress that could take place in the community. But I wish you all the best of luck. Any closing comments? Go ahead quickly.
Trinidad and Tobago, and to the rightful thinking citizens of San Fernando, I thank you for your support. I have been getting a lot of positive feedback in terms of what we are trying to attempt to do. We are working within the confines of local government reform. In local government reform, they talk about local economic zones and development of local economic zones in preparation for property taxes. I did it in Pleasantville. On Friday, I'll be opening one of the local economic zones on Parakeet Boulevard in Pleasantville. The people in Pleasantville are very accepting of the fact that now we're adding equity to their personal property. So now they are worth more because of these beautifications and these projects that we did. And I'm simply trying to do the same thing for each and every San Fernandian. And our motto is Sanitas Fortas, which means in a healthy environment, we will find strength. That is what I'm doing.
Thank you so much, Your Worship. And of course, we'll invite you back to talk about this local government reform and as well as property tax very soon. So we hope that you do answer the call and be part of our audience. Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you.